Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive helpful tips on how to relieve pain. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section down below. Everyone, welcome. This is Dr. Jacobs. In this video, I'm gonna go over how to stop and treat your frozen shoulder. And a lot of this you can do it actually at home. But before we do that, we need to understand what is a frozen shoulder, the causes, the risk factors, because when we understand that, it will make a lot of sense how to treat the root cause of frozen shoulder, not the symptoms. So first, we'll go over what is frozen shoulder, the causes, the risk factors. I'm gonna go over normal healing cycle and what happened internally, so you will know what kind of treatment actually gonna work and what treatment that's will not gonna work. And then we'll wrap it up with the whole protocol for treating the frozen shoulder. Make sure you watch this video to the end, because it will not make sense to look at the treatment unless you really understand why the problem exists to begin with. So frozen shoulder, the technical term for it is adhesive capsulitis. It's basically adhesion in the capsule on your shoulder. So by definition, it's a stiffness, fibrosis. That's actually the technical term for scar tissue. Thickening of the capsule, as you can see it here. This is the capsule here in your shoulder. And the frozen shoulder, you start to have thickening, fibrosis, scar tissue, and shrinking in the capsule. So that capsule should be nice and smooth, like the t-shirt I'm wearing now, so I can move freely. But when you start to have adhesive capsulitis, that capsule start to shrink and you have a scar tissue, the size of my t-shirt is actually decreased 2 to 3 sizes smaller. So when I move, that is tight here from the adhesion, it will limit my range of motion. And that's a problem, and it's overlooked by a lot of healthcare providers, especially physical therapists. I personally, before I invented the ASTR tools that go deep to release the deep adhesion, I personally used to see patients with frozen shoulder 6 years on average, 3 to 6 months, and sometimes over that, because we don't address the root cause of the problem, which is the fibrosis. We depend on exercises to break it, which is actually impossible to do that. So it's very typical with frozen shoulder. You have limitation in range of motion, and the limitation usually with flexion, which is elevating your arm forward like that, abduction, elevating your arm to the side up, and also external rotation, which is actually pushing your arm backward this way. So that's the very typical limitation in the range of motion. But I want you to really pay close attention to what's look here, because that's the cause, the root of the problem. In this image, you can see the thickening of the tissue compared to normal tissue. It's very typical. You have inflammation and a lot of scar tissue. So, causes and risk factors. Causes and risk factors, especially risk factor over 40 years old. Very common risk factor is immobility. If you injure your rotator cuff and you stop moving, any immobility, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's very typical with the frozen shoulder. If you don't have range of motion and limited that range of motion for several weeks, that's good enough to relieve to frozen the joint. Immobility and usually happen with patient has a stroke, rotator cuff tear, fracture, or surgery. Diabetes is very common risk factors because the body is slow to heal. Their body produces excessive amount of fibrosis without breaking it down. Thyroid hormone imbalance, that's a very high risk factors. I see that a lot in my patient. So, and it's extremely overlooked by a lot of healthcare provider, hormonal vitamin mineral deficiency. Because when your body heals, you need vitamins, minerals, your hormone to work properly to transition you from inflammation profession to maturation. If you have imbalance, your body does not have the recipe for healing. We'll go over that in detail in the next few slides. Parkinson's disease is a risk factor. Cardiovascular diseases are risk factors. So the main question, how to treat it, how to really stop frozen shoulder and actually get the full range of motion. In order for me to answer this question, we really need to understand normal healing, because understanding that we'll be understanding what to do to really address the root cause of the problem. So, normal healing. I'm gonna use external paper cut for visualization, but the same process happens when you have the internal inflammation, but you don't see it because the skin covered it. So, first stage of healing is inflammation. Swelling, redness, the blood starts to rush to that area, and you start to have pain, decreased function, and decreased range of motion. Second stage of healing is a proliferation. Remember the fibrosis we talked about? This has happened during the proliferation stage. Scar tissue. If our body does not build the scar tissue here, the wound gonna be open, and that's susceptible for infection. I want you to think about scar tissue as a glue in your body. When you have any injury, internal tear, if your body does not build the scar tissue or have the glue, that's a permanent tear. We need the glue, we need the fibrosis, we need the scar tissue. The problem is when you have too much of that and actually cause the capsule of your shoulder to be shrinking and stuck together, that's what caused the frozen shoulder here. And that's extremely important for treating frozen shoulder. That's why exercises does not work. We need to internally work on the scar tissue. During the proliferation stage, there's actually a cascade of events. Scar tissue, fascial restriction, muscle spasm, trigger points. Last stage is the maturation stage. That's when the body actually gets rid of the scar tissue, of everything in the proliferation and inflammation stage. That could take days, weeks, months, or years. With frozen shoulder, if we don't intervene, it's gonna take very, very long time. Without intervention, it's going to take very long time. We have to go deeply to break the adhesion. Otherwise, you're just going to have treatment for 3, 6 months, or even a year for frozen shoulder because you're not treating the root cause of the problem. And I personally experienced that before I had the tools to really help me to do the deep release. Those patients, it's just tough to treat. Okay, so with chronic inflammation, and very typical with frozen shoulder, you have really excessive inflammation internally and scar tissue. So the treatment has to address both at the same time. And as I mentioned before, it's overlooked with a lot of healthcare provider, hormonal vitamins mineral imbalance. Because if you don't have magnesium, D, zinc, B, C, and other vitamins and minerals, your body gonna not transition from inflammation to proliferation to maturation. It will go back and forth between those two stages. And that's why risk factors, hormonal imbalance, vitamin imbalance, thyroid hormone imbalance, diabetes. So these are very essential of part of the treatment. We need to figure out what's missing to really get to the root cause of the problem. So I will go over the treatment that actually does not work and why it doesn't work, and it will make sense when we compare this to the healing cycle. So what I used to do, like before ASTR, is the traditional approach of ice and stim. Ice is temporary, decrease inflammation, and does not really provide any long-term, does not do anything to the proliferation. So it's based on the studies, not really provide any long-term. Stim, electrical stimulation, temporary pain relief. So it does not really deal with anything of inflammation and proliferation. It just masks the symptoms. Foam roller, based on a study, does not really provide long-term. And then foam roller is very superficial. You're not gonna go deep to really release anything. So don't waste your time on it. Massage is the same thing. I used to use massage a lot with my patient, but mechanically impossible with my hand to really go deep. And if you massage or do the foam roller on an inflamed area, you're going to inflame it more. So that's why you need to know what to do in each stage to really do release but not causing inflammation. Stretching. So based on a study, if you overstretch, you're going to cause more inflammation. If you have a tear, and that's a very common approach in physical therapy, and I personally used to use that. But the problem overstretches. If you have a micro tear of inflammation, you stretch, you're gonna inflame it more. That's why I actually don't give my patients stretching exercise. There's other safer way of doing exercises than stretches. And I have other video on why you should not stretch. Make sure you check it out on my channel. Strengthening exercises, we have to do that with the frozen shoulder. We have to do a lot of exercises to really gain the strength to the muscle. But if you do the exercises in the wrong timing in relation to the inflammation, you're gonna inflame it more. We have to work on an inflammation, the proliferation first, and then introducing the exercises for the best result. So how to really treat the frozen shoulder? We need to dissect the inflammation stage, what we need to do for the inflammation stage, and actually what we need to do for the proliferation stage. First, for inflammation stage, what I personally use, and I give my patient Magna Heal. So the Magna Heal 2, it comes with 3 belt, and the range of the magnetic field is about 3 inches. So it's about 3 inches penetration to the body, and that's what I have patients wear it most of the time to decrease internal inflammation in the frozen shoulder, and sometimes I have patients sleep with it. At the same time, we have to have patients on anti-inflammatory diet. For example, refined carb, refined sugar, it's actually put your body in inflammation for 5 hours after eating. So it's actually slow the healing. So I put them on an anti-inflammatory diet to make sure their diet is not really inhibit or decreasing their ability to heal. The other important element that's extremely overlooked by healthcare provider is deficiency. A lot of these patients, and I personally saw it, you have D deficiency, B deficiency, magnesium deficiency, hormonal imbalance. If you have those deficiencies, the Magna Heal not gonna replace your magnesium, your D, or vitamins, mineral, or deficiency, or hormones. So one of the easiest way you can really figure out what's going on, take advantage of Ask ASTR. This is a free online medical evaluation. Just go to askastr.com, and it takes about 5 minutes. The software includes 9 different healthcare providers database. So it's extremely comprehensive evaluation. Evaluate your nutrition, your hormones, your cardiovascular system, your mental health. The software will help you to figure out, do you have deficiency, what possible deficiency, what you need to do to really take a charge of your health. Otherwise, if you have deficiency, those patients, and I personally saw it when the patient that I treat, and you can see I have video for frozen shoulder patient. In a few sessions, we can get really good range of motion, but those patients had a lot of different treatment that has not addressed the root cause of the problem and had the frozen shoulder for months or years. So that's to address the inflammation. We need to address the proliferation stage at the same time, because as we went over, by definition, it's fibrosis. It's a scar tissue. We have to break that scar tissue. So what to do to break the scar tissue? What I do and trigger point, I use A3 to really go it work on the superficial scar tissue and release it. So that's what I personally use, the A3. And I use the A5 to really go deep to break deep adhesion, deep fibrosis. We really can go deep with the A5. So that's my protocol for decreasing the fibrosis, but there's steps we have to follow not to cause more inflammation, and I go over that with the patient self-treatment program, and I have a link on the bottom on how to get those tools. So I'm gonna go quickly over the fibrosis, the fascia system, and if you are interested, there is a video I cover it in detail how to address fascia problem. Why I'm going over this, because extremely overlooked by healthcare providers, and it has significant effect on frozen shoulder. So to make it complicated, it's a very complex system, but don't worry, the treatment extremely simple. So the fascia, it has 2 main categories: superficial layer, which is actually like a wrap surrounding the entire body, and a deep layer, and the deep layer divided to 4 subcategories: apoptotic fascia that actually wrapping a group of muscles, and you have the epimysin wrapping individual muscle, and the premiysin that wrapping a group of muscle fiber, and at the end you have endomysin that wrapping individual fiber. Why this important? Because, as I mentioned to you, foam roller is not going to go deep to all these layers, will not distinguish between those layers, so it's a waste of time. Massage is the same thing. You cannot distinguish it. You cannot really go deep to release the endomysin, and that's not going to work. That's why those treatment does not provide long-term. And actually study prove that it does not provide a long-term. So to make it more complex, each layer, it has 2 to 3 sub layers. So there is a lot of layers we have to work on. If you know what you're doing with the tools, it's easy to really address these with the tools. So you can see here in this image the epimysin, that's a layer that's wrapping the entire muscle, the white part here, and you see that premiysin that's actually wrapping a bundle of muscle fibers, and endomysin wrapping each individual fiber. So why that's important? Because when you have fascia restrictions, it's like you wearing a t-shirt 2 to 3 size too small. Does that sound like the adhesive capsulitis? Yes, it does. It's adhesion in the fascia layer there. It's the fascia layer actually tighten more, and it feel like a band. It feel like something compressing, suffocate all the tissue underneath it. So what should we do to release that? We have to have the tool to really release the fascia. So what I personally do, I use the A1 to release the superficial fascia layer, and it's actually, I use it on the shoulder. I'm not showing it to you in my shoulder because I'm just wearing clothes, but I release the superficial and the deep fascia with the A1. Then I go deep to release the deep adhesion. So the A5, we use it to release the epimysin, premiysin, the endomysin, and I also use it to release trigger point and deep scar tissue that actually caused in adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder here. So we have to really go deep to release that. So to wrap it up, how to treat frozen shoulder. Remember, frozen shoulder, it's very typical that you have excessive inflammation and proliferation. You cannot pick and choose. I'm gonna work only on the scar tissue. No, there's inflammation. Or I will work only on the fascia restrictions. There's a lot going on that need to be addressed simultaneously to really break that vicious cycle. So to really address it, you need to work on inflammation. I use a MagnaHeal, wear it as much as you can. Then we'll start with the anti-inflammatory diet, and if you have deficiency, and extremely common, it's overlooked, that you probably have deficiency, take advantage of ASTR, because if that deficiency will not be addressed, it's going to be a slow process. So I meet that deficiency, at the same time really release all the adhesion manually, and I introduce the exercises when the person ready. So that's basically the protocol to stop frozen shoulder. It's a very comprehensive approach, and it's actually work with a lot of patients. I have a lot of videos for frozen shoulder, and you can see the result in just a few sessions. So if you have any question or comment, make sure you write it down below, and hit the subscription button and the notification bell to get notification about future video. So I will see you soon in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive helpful tips on how to relieve pain. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section down below, or go to asterinstitute.com.